If y'all think grown ass body able men aren't getting taken care of by grown women, we just don't talk about it. We just don't talk about it. It's really not a thing to discuss because a lot of men prefer not to talk about it. But there are definitely men out here taking advantage of women monetarily, sexually, all kind of stuff. But when they do it, it's okay if they do it, but it's a problem when we do it, right? And I spoke about this on a previous video about broke men, women dealing with broke men and stuff like that, that they shouldn't be dealing with men that just don't have it, just don't have the ability to take care of themselves, don't have the ability to take care of family and stuff like that. And men went crazy under that broke man video. Oh my goodness. The amount of comments that I received on that one video from dusty men, from men that always, feel like they are right, their opinion is right. And I'm not saying my opinion is right, but it's my opinion. Why are you coming in women's spaces arguing with us? I created my content for women, not men. But if you want to be a bitch in my comments, go ahead, go right ahead. But it's a thing. Men do take advantage of women. Men have been taking advantage of women since the beginning of time. We've been oppressed. We've been held hostage by men. We've been shut up by men. We have dealt with so much when it comes to men that now that a lot of women are making their own money, they're doing their own thing, they're opting out of relationships. They just don't want the headache. Because honestly, without money, men really aren't that interesting. And that's the truth. Men really aren't that interesting. When you lack character, when you lack resources, men really are not that interesting. And I do very well for myself. But the difference in pickings from when I wasn't making as much money as I would like in the past compared to now that I do have my own resources and I am able to take care of myself without the help of a man and stuff like that, my decision in the pickings of men have drastically changed. When you are operating out of desperation, when you're operating out of survival, you tend to pick men that you probably wouldn't pick if you did have your own setup, if you did have your own financial security per se. And I'm not saying that to disrespect the men that I did date when I was less financially secure in myself. I'm not, disrespecting them in any way. But honestly, I probably would not have picked dating them if I was more financially secure in myself. And that's just being real. And those men were intelligent. They had a lot of money. But it was certain things that they lacked. Like, very boring. Very obnoxious, and I'm not saying that all wealthy men are that way, but it's a different ball game. They think differently, they move differently, they speak differently, they hold themselves up to a different standard than the average man. But I'm a country girl, like I'm very down to earth, so yeah, it was very different. So I guess it just depends on your personal preference, but for me, now that I am making the money that I do make and I'm moving the way I move, I get to pick whoever I want to deal with willingly and not even shake or have any regret about it, because it's like, okay, this is who I like. This is who I want to be with. I'm not dating him because he has money. I'm dating him because I genuinely am interested in him and I really like and adore him as a person, as a human being. Versus dealing with someone just because you need your bills paid. Like, it's a difference, ladies. That's why I tell women all the time, it's so important to have your own so you can date whoever you want. And I'm not saying to date less than you either. You definitely should be equally yoked with the person that you are dating. But it won't be like the main factor in the way you move when it comes to dating financially. But anyways, enough of that. I just wanted to come on here and discuss the men sugar babies, okay? Because they are definitely out here. And I'm going to discuss a thread that I've been reading that had my mouth wide open because I'm like, bro, it's no way these men are out here taking advantage of these women in this way. When men have always, and I'm not going to judge because, like I said, I can't be one sided with this. Get it how you live it, fellas, okay? Get it how you live it. But I'm just so surprised that women are opting for this. But I understand, as women, we all have needs, we all have stuff that we want for ourselves. And we'll, by any means, just like men do, we'll go after it if that's what we want to do. But let's get into this thread. So this thread says, has anyone actually had a real sugar mama who wasn't a scam? What was it like? Y'all, oh my goodness. The first comment said, she was absolutely crazy, a tiger in bed, offered to completely subsidize my life in exchange for living with her and supplying sex on demand. I refused because I value my financial independence. Okay. So men are admitting this. That's why it's not talked about or discussed out in public as much as, women discuss it, like the Shira Sevens, and the different women out in these communities. They discuss it like it's nothing. But men do value their financial independence. Whether they want to admit it or not, they do. So for the men that do take advantage of women, or women who sign up for these relationships that willingly want to be taken advantage of, men still don't want it. They genuinely just don't want it. And I'm not going to speak for all men, but it's not discussed publicly for a reason. And this one is a reason. But yet you have men in the comments replying curious, and they want to know the details. So this guy told the details, and he said that he was in his mid-20s at the time and ridiculously attractive. Went from bodybuilding in college to working full-time for a moving company. And he said, I was also blessed with the ability to have multiple orgasms. She was a divorced mom and probably a sex addict. She loved sex and could easily orgasm from penetration. She had difficulty finding men who could keep up with her in terms of both period and stamina. He fit the bill, y'all, from what he says. And we both loved drinking too. We were drunk as often as sober together. And he also said, I think after the first time we had intimacy, I came, then it just kept going. She was like, oh, I gotta lock this down. So they would go for hours, even days, blah, 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 a little bit TMI. But he said that she thought that she hit the jackpot. And that's crazy, y'all. This other guy replied to his comment and said, bro, is she still looking? I'm down. And he said, no, when I say crazy, I mean she went off the deep end after he left her. Pretty sure she got sucked into a lot of other stuff after that. So basically, women, we got to be careful because we are definitely emotional beings. So when we do have intimacy with men or whatever, we do tend to catch feelings, and we tend to get very emotional and attached to men that we deal with intimately. So you have to be careful with that. And that's why men are able to take advantage in a way that we probably wouldn't, because I just feel like men are natural providers. So I can't look at it the same. Like, I can't look at a woman dating a sugar daddy in the same way that a man is dating a sugar mama. It is different. And we can't deny that. It's very, very different. But it's not as much as discussed compared to the sugar baby, sugar daddy communities, or just the women that just love and adore being taken care of by men. Men just do not talk about it in comparison to us, and it's a real thing. Like my brother is one of those guys. Like, he would tell me he would go out on dates and stuff with women. Women would pay. Women would buy him stuff. Women would let him use the food stamp cards that they got. Like, I'm talking about the whole nine. Like, if Trigger was a person, he would probably be one of the ones where I'm like, okay, bro, like, you might be golden. You might be a little bit, no, he's not more golden than me, but, but no, like, he would have women taking care of him. And I would be like, how? And he will go after women usually with kids that I've noticed. And it makes sense because, I mean, society puts it in a lot of women's mind that their value goes down when they have kids, and, you know, like they might be ruined, whatever the case, whatever. But I don't agree with that, because there are plenty of women who have remarried. They have well-to-do men in their lives after going through, you know, the whole baby mama fate, whatever. Everybody's situation is different. Is that the norm? No. But is it impossible? No. There are women out here who have beat the odds and have gotten whatever they wanted out of life because they believe that they deserved it and that they could obtain and have it. So it really is about mindset when it comes to anything in life. When you believe that you can have and you deserve the things that you want, you will get those things, because that's just your way of thinking. Your life, your thoughts reflect your lifestyle. So if you are a woman who thinks that she doesn't deserve the best out of life, you're not going to get it. Just like men go after what they want, and they're not ashamed of it. They might not talk about it as much as women openly, but they're not afraid to go chase after what they want. And I think women need to have that same mindset. Women, we have to learn how to be selfish just as much as men are selfish when it comes to us, when it comes to their life. When Steve Harvey made that book, Think Like a Man, he knew exactly what he was talking about. He was speaking to the women that were willingly being taken advantage of by men who prey on women that lack self-esteem, that lack confidence. They go after women who just don't see themselves in a better light. Men know when you're insecure. They do. Just like women, we know when men are insecure, when men are supposedly simps or whatever. When you're a beautiful woman, yes, we use our pretty privilege, we use our beauty to get what we want. And men have the capabilities of doing the same thing, just in a different way than we do it. So it's a thing, y'all. I don't know if there's anybody listening, any man that's listening that has ever had a sugar mama, but don't be shy. Like, drop your comments below. This video in particular is for men and women, so I'm gonna put that out there. But drop a comment if you have had a sugar mama situation. Share your thoughts and your opinions in your comments below. And for the women, chime in if you've ever been a sugar mama willingly and you absolutely love the idea of taking care of a younger man and you have no issue with getting whatever you want out of him and take care of him. Drop it below. Like, I know these lifestyles are happening out here. People might not talk about them, but I know they exist. But this is your girl, Faceless. But please don't hesitate to drop your takes and stories directly on my website at thefacelessloft.com or directly to my email at contact@thefacelessloft.com. But until next time, bye, my anonymouses.